Thank you. Daphne the journalist, Daphne the mother, Daphne the daughter, the sister, the aunt, the friend. We all knew one version or another of Daphne. But never in a million years would I have thought that I would be seeing the version of her that was reduced to just another statistic, that of assassinated journalists. Nor the version of her whose burning car I have images of forever ingrained in my mind, desperately trying to call her number over and over again at 3:19 p.m. on the 16th of October 2017, just after school, hoping that the horrifying news that we had just received was a mistake, hoping that Daphne was still alive, hoping that my aunt would still be around, refreshing news portal websites, hoping against hope that Daphne could somehow have survived that brutal bomb. Only to deduce on seeing a horrific photograph in those frantic minutes that Daphne could have never survived that blast that blew her and her car to pieces mere meters from her home. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would be seeing the version of Daphne being lowered into the cold ground while we who love her so much looked on, when we should still be enjoying the version of her who still had so much life left to live, and who would have loved so dearly her grandchildren who she was denied of knowing. Never did I think that I would be seeing the version of her who, months and years after her assassination, is still ridiculed or made the butt of sick jokes and memes by people who should know better. Nor the version of Daphne whose killing was reduced to and was disturbingly referred to as just business, with Daphne herself being seen as a nuisance to be dealt with, her life stopped by the simple push of a button. It's scary that any person can see murdering a woman, a human being, in cold blood as normal. It's scary that anyone allegedly involved in the assassination of a journalist is also still referred to as a businessman or business mogul rather than a murder suspect, because that, after all, is exactly what they are. Nobody should normalize murder, nor should murder ever be trivialized. Nobody should remain complacent when a journalist is murdered. By working with or for companies owned by these sorts of people, or by voluntarily giving them your custom, whether it be working at a call center of theirs, or simply buying a coffee from one of the establishments they co-own, you are indirectly helping fund a whole chain of corruption and playing a part in the threat to democracy and to society as a whole. You may see things differently if, like I have, you sat in court mere inches from several men accused of playing a part in your aunt's horrific assassination. I've witnessed my admirable and stoic grandparents and cousins sitting mere inches from their daughters and mothers' alleged murderers, along with other close family members of mine and Daphne's. No person should ever have to endure that, especially since nobody should have ever been assassinated in the first place. It's a position no one should ever be in, and I have the same thought running through my mind every time I sit in that courtroom. How could anyone kill a woman who was such a force to be reckoned with, so full of life, and whose voice has only grown louder since? Today marks 58 months since Daphne was assassinated. 58. It would be Daphne's 58th birthday on 26th August next week. But we won't be celebrating Daphne's birthday with her that day. Some of us will instead be sitting in the courtroom facing one of the men charged with her brutal murder on the day she turned 58. We can't celebrate with Daphne. We can only celebrate her. We can't even remember Daphne's birthday in 2017 happily, because now we know around that time, when she was sitting on her sofa at home, opening the last presents we would ever give her, she was being watched from across the valley by alleged hitmen who are planning to kill her. 58 months have elapsed since Daphne's assassination. 58 months of no justice for Daphne. Full justice for Daphne must be served, and it must be served in the lifetime of those Daphne left behind. Daphne herself deserves no less. Thank you.